Welcome back to This Week in Auburn Sports. I'm Plainsman Sports Editor Eric Wallace, joined once again by Plainsman Assistant Sports Editor Kyle Van Fechtman. And 1 week in, football season's already started. Auburn got off to a good start with a 45-21 victory over Arkansas last weekend. So what were some big takeaways from the game that you noticed?
I mean, obviously everyone's raving about the offense, but the biggest takeaway I had was how the defense responded to their first half performance. The first half they didn't play very well, as everyone knows, and they were able to respond to Coach Ellis Johnson's adjustments, and they only held Arkansas at only 2 rushing yards in the second half, which is incredible.
Because they were getting gashed in the first half.
Yeah,
Alex
definitely.
Collins and Jonathan Williams were just, running through the defensive line that honestly received a lot of hype this offseason.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's something you see a lot from, maybe it's a trademark of Ellis Johnson's defense is that they adjust in the second half, because I know they had a good track record of turning it around in the second half last season.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see if that going forward. But you couldn't help but notice how fun the offense looks like it's going to be this year.
Those first 3 drives were incredible. Jeremy Johnson really stepped up. His first 6 completions were to 6 different receivers, so it really showed how deep their receiving core is. I think it's the deepest receiving core Auburn's had in a long time.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously everybody knows Sammy is a beast. Duke, fans love him already.
Yeah.
But Melvin Ray, he burst onto the scene into the national championship game last year with that touchdown catch. I think he's going to have a bigger role in the offense going forward. The coaching staff has talked a lot about that. And it's been an interesting journey for the former minor league baseball player coming back and getting back into the game. And
Coach Lashley was saying that in fall camp, Melvin Ray was the most impressive, and he was excited to see his hard work pay off in that first game, and it showed. So
I think one big question mark that comes away from the game, and honestly it's hard to call this a question mark considering how well both Jeremy Johnson and Nick Marshall played. But just how does Gus Malzahn utilize both of his talented quarterbacks? Because as good as the passing game was with Johnson, the run game was pretty lacking, to be honest.
Yeah.
And it definitely improved under Marshall.
Yeah, once Nick came in, he opened up the run game, but Jeremy was slinging it out there. So it'll be interesting to see. They're saying that Jeremy Johnson will have a role. It'll be interesting to see how much he will be playing behind Marshall.
So, and I think we'll see both of them this week as we move into a game against what's honestly a much easier opponent in San Jose State.
Yeah.
I know Ellis Johnson talked him up. And
he hyped them up, saying they have the best receiving core he's seen in a long time.
Debatable. That's debatable. We'll see. But I think it's an exciting game because you could see a lot of the future talent from Auburn on display.
This could be the game where everyone gets to see Rock Thomas, and everyone is excited to see the 5-star come out and play. And Peyton Barber's going to get more carries. He came in garbage time against Arkansas, and it looks like both of them will be getting a lot of carries.
I'll be interested to see on the defensive side if Trey Williams sees any field time. He's a highly recruited linebacker. But I mean, it's just an opportunity for a lot of guys to get playing time against an opponent that's not quite as strong as Arkansas was.
It'll be great to see a bunch of guys get reps in before the bye week and before they travel to Kansas State.
And we may get to see a little bit of what Malzahn's plan moving forward with Johnson and Marshall may be. Just the way they're going to split up those carries now that Marshall's punishment for his offseason problems is over. But it's a big game. It's definitely already been sold out. So with it being a night game, hopefully it won't be the scorching humidity that we experienced during that Arkansas game. But it's hard to. It's hard to get people excited for an opponent that's not in the SEC, especially considering, how down the SEC schedule is this week.
Yeah.
The schedule is pretty rough.
But as you said, it's sold out, so people are still excited, and the expectations continue to be high, so I think the fans will still be out and cheering on the Tigers.
Yeah, we'll see if the corners of the upper decks get quite filled out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. We could talk about football all day, honestly, but there's some other stuff going on around campus. The Auburn men's golf team will kick off its season this weekend at the Carpet Capital Classic. I believe they start on Friday and they'll end up Sunday. But, just a lot of the other fall sports are starting to get going now.
Yeah.
Soccer's been going. They had a good weekend last week. They won the Tiger Classic with a couple of shutout victories. Volleyball actually is heading up to Columbus, Ohio.
Yep.
They have another tournament. The name of the tournament is escaping me. But it's been a good start for Auburn's fall sports teams so far this year. Both are on the winning track. But you should definitely pick up the Auburn Plainsman print edition this week. We got a lot of good content, not just football, obviously, but there's good stuff. We have a story on equestrian rider Lucy Ego. She's one of the seniors, and she's looking to make an impact in her final season on the Plains.
Also, be sure to pick up this week's Game Day tab as Ron continues to read it.
He's enjoying it.
We have a great column that Eric wrote about the 2-quarterback system with Jeremy and Nick. We also are doing the Plainsman picks. If you want to interact with us on Twitter at the AU Plainsman, #Plainsman picks. There's a bunch of good games besides Auburn's game. There's Stanford versus Southern Cal and Oregon and Michigan State and Notre Dame, Michigan. So tweet us your picks for those games. And we also have some good feature stories about senior Cameron Payne after his career game, and another feature on Duke Williams after his incredible debut.
He's a new fan favorite. I think people will be hearing his name quite a lot more often this fall. But that's all we got from This Week in Auburn Sports. Make sure you tune in next week. We'll see you then.